Let's begin sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position. Maybe pull the flesh of your buttocks back behind your sit bones. Rest your hands comfortably on your legs. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lifting tall through the crown of the head. And exhaling, relaxing the shoulders down, letting the eyes close. Feeling the weight of the sit bones on the ground. And letting the legs relax. Feel the hips letting go of the legs. And soften the belly. Feeling the breath flowing there. And again, lifting tall through the spine. Maybe drawing the chin slightly in, lifting the crown of the head. Almost like you're pulling your spine up out of the earth. Feel the shoulders relaxing down even more. Let the hands be restful on the legs, soft, relaxed. With everything relaxed now, start to feel the breath flowing up the front of the body. And down the back of the back. Up the front. And down the back. And we'll start to engage Ujjayi breath. So as you draw the breath in, you draw it in through the nose, but it feels like you're pulling it from the base of the throat. So the effort, the suction, doesn't come from the nose like it normally does when we breathe. It comes from just the base of the throat, this little notch here. And because of that, it makes a sound. The sound is a whooshing sound. And as you keep the base of the throat narrow for the exhale, you'll hear the sound then too. So even though the breath is coming in and out through the nose, there isn't the feeling of a vibration in the nasal passages. You feel that vibration in the base of the throat. And you can see how breathing this way kind of drags the breath out. It allows it to be long and slow. And it's a deep but gradual breath. So it doesn't feel like you're over efforting. It stays calm, even though the breath is really filling into your body quite fully. And then we'll practice moving with this breath. Maybe starting with your hands together at your heart. Inhale and open the arms out. Take the chest out and the eyes up. And then exhale and round your back. Clasp the hands, press palms forward, pull the belly in. And then inhale, press the arms up. And exhale forward again, rounding the back, tailbone tucking, belly drawing in. Inhale, open, arms back, chest wide, breathe across your heart. And then let it all go. Feel how the scooping of the belly releases all the air. Follow your own breath now. Continuing to use your Ujjayi breath. One more full round. And then open the arms wide again. And drop to the left. And inhale up. Exhale to the right. Notice how slowly you can go in your breath and in your movement. Listen for the sound of your breath. Next exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Twisting to the right. So just practicing here, moving very gently, but with the Ujjayi breath. Good. And on your next exhale, just bring the hands together at the heart. Maintaining the Ujjayi breath as you flip over your feet onto hands and knees. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. You can be on palms or on fists, whichever you like. Good. Now, on the inhale, we're going to lift the right leg up and back and look up. Exhale, round the back and pull the knee to the forehead. And if you're not feeling up to the effort of lifting the leg, then you can just keep it down and not lift the leg. Just do a simple cat and cow. And if you're feeling like you want more effort, then you bring your opposite elbow to your knee and lift that arm when you lift the leg. You decide. And then seamlessly changing legs. And then releasing down. Maintaining Ujjayi breathing throughout the whole class. And then we'll take the hands, one hand length in front of the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. And notice if the middle finger is pointing straight ahead. It should be parallel to the outer edges of your mat. The crease of the wrist parallel to the front edge of your mat. Good. And then we'll bend the elbows out to the side. And then roll them back. Good. We'll do that again, closing the eyes and feeling what happens in the shoulder blades and the upper back as we do that. So noticing first the widening that you may experience across the upper back as you take the elbows out. And then see what happens as you roll the elbows in. And then notice what happens in the hands. Like my index finger and thumb are not as weighted on the ground once I've done that. So after you roll the elbows back, press back into the index finger and thumb, and then see what that does. Good. Now we're going to try to keep the upper back and shoulder blades kind of wrapped around in this way as we come fully up into downward dog. So start by curling the toes under and take an in breath, still Ujjayi breathing. And then lift the knees, but keep them bent. Pushing into the hands. Notice what's happening in the shoulders. You want to keep the elbows rolled down and keep pushing into the index fingers and thumbs, sending your sit bones as far back away from your hands as they'll go, spiraling the inner elbows up. Good. And then keeping the knees bent, relaxing the head down, using your Ujjayi breath, creating a long spine on the inhale. And then lifting the belly, getting even longer on the exhale. Good. And then just start to pedal your feet, alternating, pressing one heel down at a time. Keeping the pressure in the hands to keep the spine long. Good. And then keep the left heel down and lift the right leg up, flexing the foot and reaching back through that right heel. As you're pushing forward through the hands, drop the head and chest. And breathe. And feel the length of both the breath and the body. Pressing down into the left heel, stretching the calf. Pressing out through the right heel, getting long there. And then on an inhale, look forward and step the foot all the way up. Good. Now push it into the right foot. Lift yourself up. Stay there with the back heel off the ground and clasp your hands behind your back. Make a mental note of which thumb is on the outside. And then really straighten your left leg as though you're trying to sink the heel to the ground, just like in downward dog. And then lift the hands behind you as high away from the body as you can, even maybe looking up, and aim the tailbone for that right knee. Ujjayi breath. The right knee is moving forward and the left heel is moving back in kind of a wishbone effect. Good. Now take your gaze down to the floor and then fold your body over and start to move your gaze toward your back foot as you lift your arms up even higher, folding over all the way. And then lift yourself up. Bring the right hand onto the right thigh. Keep the back leg straight and the heel pushing back. Take the left arm up. And then reach over to the right, bending at the waist. Sinking the hips, pressing back the left heel. Ujjayi breath. It never leaves you. Pressing down with that right hand to help get length and lift up out of the left hip and waist. Good. And then we'll take that left elbow and hook it over the right leg. Palms together. And then try to move the hands to the center of the chest, pressing the right hand into the left hand and looking back behind you and pressing back into the left heel. Good. Bring the hands back around to the front and down to the mat. Good. Step the back foot just a little bit forward, not all the way, about a third of the way. Creating a pyramid with your legs. And then look up, inhale. Exhale, release your head down. And while you're breathing, see if you can shift your hips as though you're rotating them to the right. Good. And then let the weight of your torso release over your front leg. Relax your head. Maybe take weight out of your hands a little bit more. Keep letting go. Okay. Now we're going to shift forward And we're going to lift that left leg all the way in the air. So for the balance, we want to move the hands forward first. That starts the shift. And then lift the leg, fold forward. And then if you want, you can release one hand to the right leg. Or if you feel balanced or want to challenge your balance more, release both hands. Reaching up through the left leg. Good. Bend the front knee, plant both hands down, step the back foot all the way back. Great. And then step the right foot back, coming into plank. Holding plank, modifying with the knees down, if that's where your practice is today. Lifting the belly to support the spine. Good. Now, we're going to stay in plank, and we're just going to move the shoulder blades and the chest. So it's not like we're trying to do a push-up. We're not lowering, we're not bending the elbows at all. We're just lowering the chest down and lifting the chest up. So the shoulders are situating themselves differently in the body, but the arms are not bending. Good. Now bring the knees to the ground, release the toes. Lay the pubic bone on the ground. Bend the elbows. Roll the shoulders back. Take the gaze up. Cobra. It can be a nice low cobra if your back is not happy in a high cobra. You really want to focus on putting the tailbone down and rolling the shoulders back and being spacious across the chest and feeling the breath rising up into and spreading wide across the chest. Good. And then lift the hips, curl the toes, lift the knees, keep them bent. Push forward into the fingers, roll the inner elbows up, drop the head, and then press the right heel down and lift the left leg up, flexing the left foot. Try to fold your upper body toward your leg. Breathe slow, long breaths, dragging it through the body. On your next inhale, look forward, and then exhale, step the foot up between the hands. Lift your body. Clasp your hands with the opposite thumb on the outside. If you've forgotten which, just do the one that feels less natural. And roll the shoulders back. Lift the arms up. Maybe lift the gaze up. Really push back through that right heel. Feel the leg being stretched straight. And then the tailbone aimed forward for that left knee. The amount of effort that you're using is balanced out by the relaxation response of the Ujjayi breath. Now we start to fold the torso over and lift the legs, lift the arms. That would be a feat to lift the legs. Hope nobody tried that. Good. And then coming back up, left hand on the thigh, right onto the sky, and then bend it over to the left. A little bit of weight down on that left thigh, pushing with the hands so that you get lots of length and space on that right side as you bend. And then you feel how the breath infuses that stretch with even more space. And then we'll hook the elbow over the knee, palm to palm. Try to bring them to the heart center, pressing the left hand into the right hand, moving both hands toward the chest, looking up and back behind you, pressing back through that right heel. Good. And then bring the hands down. Good. Now we're gonna step the back foot a little bit forward until the front leg can get as straight as it's able to. And then inhale, look up, and exhale down. Try to relax the upper body over the legs. So some of you, your hands won't come to the floor, and that's actually an advantage, because if your hands are on the floor, you might find that you're holding yourself up with your hands. You don't want to hold yourself up. You want to release yourself down. So if the hands happen to be on the floor, take weight out of the hands. Just let them rest there. Let your mind rest in the breath. Shifting the hips like you're rotating or steering them to the left. And then start to shift your weight forward. So the back heel will lift, the hands will come forward. And then lifting that right leg up, folding over the left leg in a standing split. Maybe taking one hand to the leg, maybe both hands. And then bend the front knee, step the foot back, and back into plank. Good. And now we're going to come down into forearm plank and back up into plank. And down into forearm plank and back up into plank. Now, change the arm that you're using first. So if you're coming down on your right arm first, switch it. Come down onto your left arm first, and then come up with your left hand first. Or just stay in plank or modified plank, or even child's pose. Next time you come into forearm plank, we'll stay here. Again, you can always modify by having the knees on the ground. You can always come into a full plank if the forearm plank is feeling too much, or maybe it's harder on the shoulders and you're having sore shoulders. See what's going to work best for you. Good, and then we'll slowly lower down, releasing the toes. And this time we'll come into a Sphinx pose. So if you're not already on your forearms, come onto your forearms and have the elbows right under the shoulders, the hands shoulder width apart with the palms down. And pull the hands toward you, bringing the back ribs under you Shoulder blades down the back, gazing up, tailbone down. Press down into the palms, lift the chest, pull back through the palms, round the chest. Good. Now, bring the index fingers and thumbs together so that there's a little diamond inside those fingers. And then come up onto the knees, keeping the elbows and the hands as they are. The knees hip width apart. Curl the toes under, take a breath in, and then exhale and lift the knees. Pushing forward with the hands, pressing back through the heels. Try to move your chest toward your thighs and relax your head down. Find your Ujjayi breath again if you've lost it. And then from here we come up into downward dog, onto the hands. And then we'll walk the feet forward. Bend your knees, take hold of opposite elbows, sway from side to side. And then release the hands and slowly roll up. Send the arms up. And bring the hands together at the heart. Now open the arms out to the side, making cactus arms, elbows bend, and then step the feet out wide. Bend the knees and drop the hips down, coming into goddess pose. Feeling the breath lifting you on the inhale, sinking you on the exhale. Keep releasing the tailbone down, the shoulders roll down your back. Well, now we'll stay in this position and begin to twist and breathe rapidly, synchronizing the movement with the breath. So for right now, I know I said we would maintain the Ujjayi breath the whole class. We're going to leave it for a moment and just do a really rapid breath, inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other, and really letting your gaze wrap around behind you. So it's still a noisy breath. Good. Inhale, step together, hold your breath, lift your arms up overhead, taking steeple mudra, holding the breath, pull up from the base of the spine, lift up from the pelvic floor, lift your navel in and up, pull your chin in like you're pulling your throat up, roll your eyes up, press the tongue to the roof of your mouth like you're trying to take that breath that you're holding in and push it all the way up to your index fingers. Just imagine that, everything pushing up, holding as long as you can, And when you need to exhale, we'll bend forward, releasing the arms, forward fold. And then on the inhale, looking up, exhale, forward fold. And then holding here with straight legs. Deep, long, slow breath. Scoop your lower belly in and up as you exhale. As you inhale, push down into your feet. Feel the creases at the tops of the thighs lifting up. Surrender over as you exhale. The hands can relax. They can be behind your calves. You can tuck them under your feet. If you're holding the backs of your legs, on the inhale, you can push legs into hands and hands into legs. If your hands are under your feet, then you can deepen the stretch by trying to pull your hands out. In other words, moving away from your body. They're not actually going to move, but you'll see how that brings you deeper. Good. Now, if you happen to be on your hands, release that. Let the knees bend a little bit. And we'll wrap the first two fingers of the left hand around the left big toe. The right foot is planted, the right knee is bent. We're going to put the right hand at the right hip. Good. Now, using your Ujjayi breath, start to slowly stand up, taking the big toe with you as you come up to standing. Good. And then we're going to straighten that leg. Those of you who cannot straighten it and still hold the big toe, you'll just release the big toe and hold on to the leg wherever you can. And then we'll take the other arm out to the side. And then if you can, look over your right shoulder and send that left leg open even more. Ujjayi breath, eyes are still and steady on one spot. Mind is clear, just focusing on the sound and feel of your breath. Good. Bring the arm down. Bring the leg around to the front. Release the other arm and hold. And lower the foot down. Stand for a moment. Close your eyes. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Let the knees bend. And take the first two fingers around your right big toe. Bring your left hand onto your hip. Again, the left knee is bent. The foot is really firmly on the ground. Pushing into your standing foot. Begin to lift yourself up, bringing your right foot with you. Come all the way up to standing. Feel your chest opening and lifting. Find the gaze point on the ground or right in front of you to steady you. And then send that right leg out to the side, straightening the leg and releasing the big toe if you need to in order to straighten the leg. Take the other arm out to the side. And then if you can, turn your head to the left. Release the left arm down. Bring the right leg forward. Release the right arm down. Flex the foot and hold it here. Staying tall through the chest. And slowly lower the leg down. And close the eyes. Feel the heaviness in your feet. Feel your chest, your shoulders, your head and neck, all relaxing. So now that we're all relaxed, we're going to build the energy back up again. We're going to do some ha breath. So it's 3 inhales and an exhale. The arms go out in front, that's an inhale. Out to the side, that's another inhale. Up overhead, that's another inhale. And then exhale out of the mouth and down. Ha, like this. Now, if you want, you can fold on your exhale. One more. Close the eyes and feel the energy that you've created. And then bring the arms out in front. Hold them there. Come up off the heels onto the toes and bend the knees. Keeping the belly in and the tailbone down. Start to lower, lower, lower. Good. And then take the arms up. Pull the belly in and down. Sink the tailbone. Good. Now we're going to lower the hands down to the ground on the right. And we're going to have the palms be shoulder width apart with the hands roughly under the shoulders. Right now they'll be slightly in front of the shoulders, but we're going to change that. So notice how the outer right knee is up against the back of the left arm. We're going to capitalize on that as we try to come into this variation of crane pose, a sideward variation. Now, I'm going to push into my feet to lift my hips up a little bit. See that? My elbows are going to bend. The right elbow is going to go into my right hip. The left elbow is into my right leg. And I'm going to shift my weight forward and see if I can get my feet off the ground. Now, the idea of this pose is not to necessarily do it, but to practice challenging yourself and using the Ujjayi breath to keep you calm and focused and centered, and really use that narrow focus, that pinpointed awareness that Ujjayi breath helps you to really feel into what's happening here, and feel into where the balance needs to happen, where the stretch needs to happen, where the strength needs to happen. So I'm going to show it to you from the side in case you're watching. Hopefully you're not, you're practicing it. So this right elbow, when I lift and then lean forward and to the right and bend the elbow comes right into my outer hip, and then the other elbow supports that knee. And then I start to shift forward and down like we do in crane, and then take the feet off the ground. I'll give you another moment or so to play with that. Okay, and then we'll come back to our starting point and we'll try it on the other side. One side is invariably going to be easier than the other or harder than the other, so don't give up. If the last side didn't work, this side could. So we start with the hands in a twist. Hands are shoulder width apart. Fingers are spread. The more surface area we have in the hands, the easier it is to balance, of course. So I'll show it again from the side. So I'm going to start by lifting my hips, bending my elbows. The elbows don't bend wider than the wrists. If they do, then you lose all the power that the bones give you. So I'm just lifting up a little bit, bending my elbows, and then placing my elbows strategically to support my body. The left elbow at the hip, the right elbow at the knee. And then coming forward until the elbows line up over the wrists. I realize that you're not fully seeing what I'm doing here. Hopefully my verbal instructions is better than my visual ones. So this left elbow on the hip, this right elbow on the knee, and then shifting my weight forward, trying to get the elbows to line up over the wrists. As some of you know, I have a weakened right shoulder from my surgery, and I don't think I can do it on this side. So maybe I'll just show it again on the other side, and you'll adapt. It's okay if you're falling. Try to laugh if you do. Hopefully you're not hurt. Give you one more moment here. And then we'll all come back to our starting point in a little squat. And then bring your buttocks onto the ground. And we'll bring the arms forward and lift the chest up. Tuck the chin in, lean back, and then lift the legs. Ujjayi breath. And then we'll lower slowly, slowly. Legs and body both lowering slowly. And then once you come down, take a nice long stretch with the arms overhead. Pull the knees in, cross the ankles, and then take hold of your big toes. So the left hand will wrap around the right foot, which is on the left side, and the right hand will wrap around the left foot, which is on the right side. And you pull the feet in toward you and just rock around on your back in circles or side to side, whatever feels good. And then release and bring the feet down. Lift the tailbone, tuck it under, release that down, and shake the legs out. If you're using an eye pillow, place it on your eyes. We'll all bring the arms a comfortable distance away from the body, palms up, legs a comfortable distance away from each other. And take a deep breath in. Exhale out of the mouth, sinking the body into the earth. Deep breath in. Exhaling out of the mouth, releasing the jaw, lips slightly apart. And deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the activity of the mind, releasing the Ujjayi breath, releasing the breath entirely. As much as you were invited to control the breath before, now you can completely let it be. Allowing the breath to breathe for you. And resting the mind in the feeling of breath. Where do you feel it in your body? Trace it coming in and going out. Glue your awareness to the breath. And if you find that it's gotten unglued, no problem. Just shift your awareness back again. Back to breath. Deeply relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting everything go now. Breathe into your heart. Move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. Stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest. And rock from side to side. Feeling the ground massaging your back. And then come center, left hand to hand and foot to foot, breaking up the energy in the body. And then roll on to either side, resting your head on your underside arm, resting your body on the ground, resting your mind on the feel of your breath, feel of your heart, the aliveness that's there, thoughts that are there, feelings that are there, anything you notice. And then slowly bring yourself back up to sitting, sinking down into your sit bones, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale the hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in and let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.